Oh, boy. I gotta go over this. I gotta go over this again because I've talked to other guys, ladies about this and stuff, and let me tell you, these ladies ain't too bright. What the podcast does is put women on here that don't know much and how to go against these guys and stuff like that. And it pisses me off. That's what their intent is, so they can further their bullshit agenda. Alright? Leave a like, leave a comment. Hopefully my audio's working well. Hopefully it is. I hope. Alright? And, I mean, equal rights, equal fights. They're talking about, let's get into this, because it pisses me off how they use women, particularly don't have much upstairs and stuff like that. They do that on purpose. They do that on purpose to fit their agenda and stuff like that.
Versus men to fight in a war. Who the hell do we think would win?
Men, for sure.
Men, for sure. So it's just more of a, I don't know how much we'd help necessarily.
So then what additional benefit do men receive?
Like, I don't know how much, I don't know what this could do.
I think listen, I totally agree with this point, but it just kind of makes me want to ask, though, what additional benefit then should men receive from the state, considering the fact that you only want them to go and fight wars on behalf of you?
This is, again, what this dumb retard is saying. Again, I hope people show this to him because he's a fucking retard and a piece of shit. Say that men should get an extra vote or whatever, and we're not going to wars for them. These wars are started by men, first of all, and stuff. So I mean, him saying that we're fighting for you is utter bullshit and everything. This guy is a total douchebag. He is. And I do not like him. I do not like, guys like him. They are trash, and he'd be told that they're rats. These guys are total rats, or what they are. Total rats. I got no respect for them whatsoever. I spit on them. These guys. I spit on them. I got no respect. Because they're brainwashing other men. I mean, it's true. It's a fact that they are brainwashing and retarding men, turning them into idiots and stuff. How they have millions of followers, idiot subscribers that like them, and they're being brainwashed and stuff. Women are taking care of their family, their familia, while they're at war. They're taking care of their kids, and you want them. And the guys are asking for an extra vote, or their votes to be taken away. Well, it's means they're actually creating the wars. They've been creating wars. Now, there have been someone, you talk about China or whatever, some other countries, stuff like that. How, women have created assassination and stuff like that. And guys are complicit with that. You're talking about different parts of history. You're talking about Western history, Eastern history, or whatever. It's different. And the men do the bidding with that. It really pisses me off that, men are being brainwashed. It pisses me off and it gets me triggered that men are being brainwashed by these idiots and stuff. And I was talking to other guys about this and how stupid and retarded this is. These guys are saying this. They should have, their, vote removed, or guys should get another vote and they're creating entitlement. They're just as bad as anybody else.
But can I put something?
So
all
what
wars are
should they
started
additionally
by
be
men,
entitled
no?
to
So-
that you're not entitled to is my question.
Sorry again.
Well, if you want men to go fight wars to protect you, what should they
They
be
never
entitled
asked
to
that.
that you're
They
not
never
entitled
asked
to?
that. Women ain't asking all these men, even World War II, the women ain't asking all the men, hey, go out and fight for us. The guys were just saying, hey, I fight for my country. This has been just about every war. The ladies aren't saying, go out and fight for us. Save the motherland, save the fatherland. Nah, the guys, I mean, that's what being warriors are, in the male mindset of being a warrior going out to fight for the land. They're not going because a woman told them to, unless guys are being coward or something like that, not fighting for their land or something. And we're talking about different history. But these guys are trying to brainwash other men, and it pisses me off.
What is it?
Well,
What,
they have a greater responsibility than
what do
you.
you? What do you?
Because they have to
believe?
go fight
Okay,
the wars,
so what do
right?
you believe that men
Men
should?
do not have a great responsibility for anything women do. They're the ones that take care of the kids, you piece of shit. They're getting them to doctor's appointments. If you're out at war, they're taking care of your stupid family. I feel sorry for the mother that birthed your dumbass, because you're an idiot. What does your mother think of what you're talking about anyway? I wonder what your mother thinks. Because you're a rat. You're a piece of shit. I wonder what, the women, that have more of a brain think. Because I've talked to other women about this and they're pissed off. That a piece of shit like you is putting out an agenda like this. Saying that you deserve more rights, more entitlement.
Should be entitled to, because they do this. You think that our right to vote should be stripped because we don't
If you
enlist in
can't
the
defend
military?
it, then why should you have it? If
What do you want them to do? They don't want to embarrass our kids. You want them to go out on the fucking battlefield while they're pregnant? You piece of shit. Do you see how fucking retarded you are? Because that's what you are. I should go on this fucking podcast and just say that. It's always, I feel like, I wish I could do that always. Oh my God. It pisses me off because it pisses me off that they are brainwashing other men to believe in this BS. And they're brainwashing these women a certain way. This is what it is. It's a brainwashing thing. It's a brainwashing. And it pisses me off.
other people have to defend it on behalf of you, then why shouldn't they exclusively
They're
have
not
it
doing it
and
for
you
you.
not have it?
Yeah. Can I answer this?
No.
Yes,
No.
you can. You can, but they don't want you to. It's a podcast. Anybody should be able to answer.
I'm just not really sorry. I'm not really understanding.
But okay.
Yeah, so I'll make it. I'll break it down a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm
Yes.
I'm getting because you guys aren't enlisting in the military, you shouldn't have the right to vote.
This is another thing that I went over in one of my videos, stuff like that, just a couple days ago. This is about the issue of the draft, which should be legal. It's not, selective service. You go up, you vote, stuff like that, and everything. This is about the constitutionality and legality of the draft and everything. And like I said, they shouldn't even have that with how Democrats and Republicans only pretty much furthered the military-industrial complex. Creating more weapons, creating wars and stuff like that. And it's both sides that does it. It's not just one side. People can say stuff that they want about Trump or Biden stuff. I can go into that, how they further it, and award new contracts to military contractors, make more weapons and stuff like that. And how they want to create all these wars just to further that cause, making billions of trillions of dollars off of it. And I mean, that's what it should be about. Instead, these rats here, him and Andrew, are making it about, hey, we deserve more rights than a woman does. Well, they're helping take care of. A woman, unfortunately, took care of this rat. Andrew took care of this rat here. I wonder what they think about them talking like this. I wonder what they think. They took care of them. They didn't have to. A mother doesn't have to take care of you or me. They don't.
Yeah, I mean, but let's assume for a second.
Is that your
I was
argument? That sounds like your argument.
No. It's just the potential for it. So all men have to sign up for selective service, all of them, every single one of them. And if a bad enough war breaks out,
I don't think should be the case either.
Yeah, hang on, let me finish. All men have to sign up for selective service at 18 years old. That is the law. Now the thing is that if a war got bad enough, they would be able to serve.
Actually, you don't. Technically, you don't. You have to do that if you're to register to vote. I mean, there is loopholes here. I know legal loopholes. I know how to get out stuff. I know how to get out stuff that you want. I did at the time. But that's one loophole. It's just you can't vote. But
in tons of different capacities other than just fighting on the front lines of whatever said war was. Especially if a war was bad enough, they would take them with almost any condition. We've seen this before. So if that's true...
No, you haven't seen that before. They didn't do that in World War II. You're lying out of your ass. They didn't take, what was it, A1? It was just an A1, I believe. In World War II, they did not take guys that did not have the physical fitness to be in it. It didn't matter. They couldn't have guys have heart attacks or something like that. I know because they told me. Veterans told me this. I've been around real veterans unlike you. I mean, you want women to be on there pregnant on a fucking battlefield? Is that what you want? Let's be honest. You want a pregnant woman to be running on the battlefield? You want her, having, her period on the battlefield for you. Is that what you want? Is that what you want here? I mean, you just try to make yourselves holier than thou.
And the potential exists that if a massive war broke out, and men are the ones exclusively who are going to fight it, why don't they have additional privileges that the people who aren't...
You don't deserve shit. You don't deserve additional privileges. You deserve shit in your face, I think. But anyway, I mean, this is... He does, man. Oh my God, man. These poor girls, they don't know. They don't know how to fight back. They don't. And this is why they have them on there, because they can't think. They have that. It's like he's trying to brainwash men that don't have a brain either, that want all this power, like Islam and stuff like that, where the men tell women what to do and everything else, and have all the rights. Why don't they just call this the Muslim Brotherhood here, or whatever? Let's be honest, But I mean... It's insanity. It is fucking insanity. And you don't deserve anything. These women are out taking care of rats like you when you were a kid, getting you to appointments, feeding you or breastfeeding you, while they are sick, have pneumonia or die or have cancer. To pieces of shit like you who should be alive, probably, put out this mess. Because now you're saying you want their rights taken away, and that we deserve more rights than they do. How so?
Able to defend their own rights have.
They
That's
should.
What I don't understand.
Yeah, they should. If that was the case, then I think that men should have special privileges over over women. If it came down to that, if it came down to that, again, this is
This is why the guys chose them. They also don't have kids. They don't have kids whatsoever. They're in their early 20s or whatever. This one isn't. This one isn't. But they don't have kids clearly, or they don't know anything about raising kids and all sort of stuff and take care of kids' health care and everything. And they have them there on purpose.
You're pushing.
But I mean,
into
it
that.
has come down to that many, many times. I mean, it's already
Yeah,
happened
then they
many, many, many times.
100%
When does
should
it happen?
receive
Without
special
logic.
privileges without stripping our right to vote.
Well, yeah, but I don't understand because you can vote to make them go to war for you.
You don't have many brain cells. They're not going to war for them. If anything, it's about family and their kids. It's about to protect their so-called rights. We don't have the same rights that we used to either. A lot of our rights have been taken away, after 9/11. But that's a different video and everything. A lot of our rights have been taken away about what we can and cannot say, how surveillance, how, intelligence companies, FBI, and everyone else goes through all our data and stuff like that. How certain speech is not, tolerated as much, and it was back in the day and everything. So, I mean, there's a lot of guys that fought World War II that wish they hadn't fought because they see how bad this country has gotten, and they say it's gone to shit.
That's why it's problematic.
Who
So you can
started
vote.
the war?
You, so
The
let me
guys
explain what I
Men
mean.
or
You
women?
can-
Who's creating
guys
these
did.
wars, though?
They did.
So
well,
men-
if women voted to go to war, it would be women.
Women ain't voting for war. I mean, before women were able to vote, it was the men that was doing it. So I mean, you're digging yourself a hole here, dude.
Right?
And I don't think women would vote to go to war.
Except the problem you have with that is when we take a look at female monarchs, they often went to war far more than the male monarchs did.
No, they did not. No, they did not. That's not true. There's a lot more male monarchs. You don't know history whatsoever. Like I said before last video, I related to royalty. So that in England, including there's only Queen Elizabeth. Okay? If you're talking about China, you're talking about how women schemed to take down some men back then. And some of the emperors or whatever. The men did that, the women schemed, and it takes a man and a man with an army to do that. And overthrow different dynasties and everything.
So it turns out that, and by the way, when it comes to warmongering, women often do vote that direction. And the thing is why wouldn't they? They don't really have to suffer.
A lot of them are told to by their spouse as well. They don't vote for war if you think they've been more liberal minded until today. It's like they also believed, like after 9/11, we were attacked. That was different. Guys voted for war too. Women did. They didn't like it. Women are far less for war than women, but you're brainwashing them with lies. You're lying about this. You're lying about women as a whole. And I don't see why. I mean, they don't. Look, she doesn't know what to think. Look at her. She doesn't know. She has a blank face. She has a blank. She doesn't know what to think either. You have a bunch of ladies that do this on purpose. They know what they're doing. They have this skewed. They have the whole podcast of one skewed. So they could do this.
For any of the physical repercussions of it. So the idea here is just this. It's just to say this. Since many, many times already in American history, there's been a general draft instituted, and men have had to go off and fight wars.
I can tell you right now, would you rather have women go out and fight our wars? I know you would. You might lie and say yes. I'm sure you would because you are a liar. You're a narcissist. is what you are. You're a full-fledged narcissist. And so I think you would not mean it. And the thing is, those ladies are saying, why the fuck are we fighting a war for? We shouldn't need it. It's like World War One. There's a lot of men that said we should be fighting this war, but other men, the commanders, said, if you don't shoot the enemy, you're gonna be killed. You're gonna face execution for desertion and abetting the enemy. That's the way it was. That's history right there. You know, say before World War II, if you didn't do that, you could be executed for not fighting in the war. You know, you didn't face jail time, you faced execution.
On behalf of their nation, and women have not had to do this because you and I agree they don't have the capacity to do so on average. Most women don't have the capacity to go fight with men in a war.
Men should be drafted in the war, should be drafted because there is SA. That's not just the only thing. They have too many stupid guys that are in their audience saying this stuff and everything, try to make stuff up. Should be drafted because they think sexual assault. That's not the only thing, but anyways.
Then why shouldn't those men, why shouldn't men in general, since they're all assigned to selective service, have the right to vote because they seem to be able to protect the right and women can't? That's the ultimate question.
I feel like with that logic, you shouldn't be allowed to vote then if you don't go to war. Like,
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
no,
with
no,
that
no, no.
logic.
You're still
you
signed
vote,
up for
like,
the
when
selective
there's an
service.
election,
Wait. You're still signed up for the selective service. The potential is only there for you to go to war. It's never there for women. If they choose not to, they never have to. There's no
So
potential
your question
for it.
again is why shouldn't they have special? And I'm saying that they should if they.
I agree.
They definitely should without stripping
should
the
not.
right for women to vote.
Okay,
You don't
well,
get what they're asking for. You don't get. They're asking for special entitlements and stuff like that. They do this on purpose. I wish they had smarter women on there, but that's the way they like it. Not to have smart women on their podcast. I'm not making fun of them. I'm just stating the fact. They don't. If I had some of my ladies on here, and I don't have things set up for that, if I had them here, they'd be cussing this rat out too. They'd be cussing his ass out too. They don't like this dirty rat here. And that's what he is. Anyways, let's get right here.
Okay, we have a super chat here from Mark Quavius Martin. Hey, thank you, man. Ladies, hold on, let me hide that asteroid there. Oops. Okay, complimentary asteroid. Yo, Mark Quavius, thank you, man. Ladies, can you name one thing that women have been given autonomy over and haven't decimated in real time? Educational system, corporate world, social media, voting, consumerism, child raising, marriage and relationships, even gyms. We live...
Say child raising. I think that women continue to be, in general, good, strong mothers, but I think that the reason kids are so weak and soft these days is, and not entirely to the man's fault, there is no testosterone in our society anymore. So there is not as much of a masculine influence over our
There
kids.
isn't much masculinity. That is the truth. And that's because, I don't like either side, liberals or conservatives. But she's absolutely right how, especially the liberal side, has feminized men. And a lot of women, even that are liberals, do not like to be around feminized men. If they do, that's them. That's them. And this is a problem how men, how the other side liberals have, totally damaged that and saying that men cannot be men and that if you have a certain way, you're a misogynist, a made-up word, and everything. And women like men that like women. I mean, it's just of late. These past, I'd say 10 years, it's really gone to extreme where some women don't like men to say, hey, you look beautiful, you look sexy, or whatever. And I think that's a bad thing because a lot of women don't understand why guys don't tell them that. And that's because you have how in particular liberals have said a man shouldn't look at you like a piece of meat. And that side I do see women should be looked at as a piece of meat, but women should be able to take a compliment. Women like to be complimented. If I have women in the adult industry, they're asking me if they look beautiful, if they look sexy, or whatever. And these people, in Hollywood and the adult industry, sometimes shoot themselves, by saying, that men should be more feminized and stuff like that. It doesn't help men whatsoever. If they want a real man, and they want a real man. They don't want, a girly girl man. They don't. They want a guy, get some fist or whatever. That's the thing. They don't want a girly man. They don't want a pussy.
Is masculinity frowned upon?
Currently it is, and
Yes,
I think
it
that
is.
is awful. I think that we've stripped men
I
of their
agree.
masculinity.
Yeah.
I think masculinity is very important, as is
It is.
femininity.
And that's why
And you basically have women who have become more masculine and men who have become more feminine.
Correct. And I think it hurts
And who
society.
do we have to blame for that?
Media, social media.
Feminism.
Eating
Feminism.
I agree. No, I agree.
No,
This is
eating.
the thing. I've been talking to ladies about feminism. It's totally reversed what used to be in the 60s and 70s. These kids know nothing about feminism whatsoever. You're talking about how these girls and people are brainwashed in schools and especially universities about feminism and how particularly white men are evil, bullshit and stuff like that. And everything. They say, if you're a minority or whatever, there ain't many white people left like there used to. There isn't. Where I am, we're a big minority. I'm not all white. I'm not all white. But I sure look it and stuff. And so in these schools, they're taught how white men in particular are fucking evil and stuff like that. Well, we're the ones that, destroyed slavery. White men did that. We fought Civil War and civil rights and stuff like that. Feminism, though, back in the 60s and 70s, is about just equal rights. Being able to vote. Being able to have an abortion if needed, stuff like that. Today, it's about how women in particular, if a guy says you're sexy or beautiful, that's wrong. That's evil. You can't say that to a woman. So now you got some ladies say, hey, we like a guy telling us we're beautiful sometimes. As long as it's not overbearing and, pathological about it, like he isn't, like a stalker about it, or I see some pretty nasty guys out there. It's totally total 180 of what it was in the 60s and 70s, which would be their grandparents. They'd be their grandparents. I remember that stuff. So
Too much soy. There's a lot of estrogen in soy products. I'm sorry.
in everything.
It's true.
Sure, I
And
suppose
in
diet
pesticides.
and there's plastics out there
and
in
it's
the water
not
and
it's
shit.
not
but-
just
Plastics and all that
it's
stuff,
not
yeah.
just diet. It's not just the singular consumer's fault. Our structures and our I'm all for capitalism, but capitalism has emphasized
I hate
just
capitalism.
profit
I hate
margins
it.
with worse products. Therefore, just overuse soil and put soy in everything, and it's not necessarily men's fault, but like
Use soil and
people
greed.
running our country have just disintegrated with the just basis of what human beings interact
We're
with.
all
and-
slaves.
Wait, hold on. I want to give Reese an opportunity here because you made a little face.
How so?
What?
I've been making a lot of faces.
Okay, what was this most recent face about?
Oh, pertaining to what part?
I think I
been
said
a lot of things
feminism
said.
is to blame.
No, it's soy.
Oh, feminism is to blame. Because the way that I view feminism and the way I believe
The way that is today, it is to
fine,
blame.
it's about equality between men and women. It's not trying to make men less masculine or women.
Erroneous! Erroneous!
What the fuck? Why does the asteroid keep
It is total bullshit how it is today versus back then. You needed feminism back then to just keep men and women equal. Now it's to have women up here and have women in charge of everything more. And it has to be a balance. It has to be where we're equal. You know, not one over the other, whatever.
coming?
I like it.
Wait, Eric, you're going to have to hide that. What the
Let's
fuck?
just start civilization over, is what they're saying.
Yeah, I don't know why it's... yeah, I don't know why I'm not... Just hide it. Okay, go ahead.
But anyways,
You said it's about equality.
It's about equality, and I personally don't view exploring the spectrum of masculinity and femininity between both genders to be necessarily a bad thing.
Can I respond to that? I think feminism today has gone a lot further than equality, and I think modern feminism is a lot different than feminism was maybe
In the 70s.
Right.
If you only knew
I
how
mean,
different
feminism's
it
always
was.
been a man-hating ideology. However,
Yeah,
it's
it's man
taken,
hating now.
quite some steps forward in that.
It's a lot
recently.
fucking different.
I reject this idea that feminism is about equality, and here's why. I believe feminism, in its most, if I give it the most generous definition, is a women's advocacy movement. There's not, and that's great. Women's advocacy is great. However, that's not the same as equality. Feminists don't advocate for equality if said equality comes to the detriment of women. So if there is no benefit to be reaped by said equality in terms of benefit that benefits women, feminists will not pursue it. So you'll fight for equality if said equality benefits women, but not if it doesn't. Not if it doesn't.
Yeah.
So take, for example, the right to vote. Women, for a period of time, I mean, it's a very small period of time when we're looking at it, but for a period of
Those
time,
been
men
for
had the right to
forever.
vote, women
It wasn't a small amount of time. They never were allowed to vote. That was forever. It was a small amount of time. So
Well, the reason why that is because men had responsibilities. Chiefly, in order for you to be able to vote as a man, you had to be subject to military conscription. Women never had that
they're not supposed to.
But
They
women,
never had that option. Not responsibility.
that's a
They never had
privilege.
the option.
That's a privilege to not go to the Argonne forest
Because-
in France.
They're not supposed to. They're childbearing, you twat. You dumbass. They're not supposed to. You know, I mean, they bleed, you know, certain times of the month and stuff like that. You can't have that in a war. You want them to do that, you dumb idiot? I think you guys do. You guys skew things to your agenda and make this, hey, we should have more than you guys. No, it should be equal. They're taking care of the kids. They're taking care of your, you know, mother, your father, and theirs, and kids, and nieces, nephews, whatever, cousins, you know, and whoever else is. And if they're sick, they take care of their own sicknesses. If they got diseases, they got cancer, they got to take care of that. You're on the battlefield. That's just, you might as well say, why have any war? Why have any war, right? I mean, there's that argument there too.
In 1917 and go get chemical gas by the Germans. That's a privilege.
Part of that's biological.
It's a
like,
it's a privilege if we can get gassed. It's a privilege. Let's go out and get mustard gassed.
weaker, like genetically we're weaker.
Yes,
the
women are
only
physically weaker.
society that was like the Vikings, and like women fought side by side with men. But like we are, grown man strength is different, and you guys have different skill sets. Just like you men are physically superior, like in when it comes to just like actual physicality and like knowledge of the body.
Yeah.
And like, you know,
I don't think they have
Like,
much
can you
knowledge
tell-
of the body. I don't think they have much knowledge of the woman's body. I I don't care if they're married and have girlfriends. They must not. Otherwise, they would have brought that up about women's surgery anyways.
That's fine.
Like,
yes, I
so
agree.
that makes
yes,
sense.
I agree with you.
Right.
Men are physically stronger. Men make better soldiers. It's true. However, that doesn't change the fact that some poor 18-year-old boy in Kentucky had to go to the Maginot Line in France and go get trench foot and get fucking obliterated by a shell in 1918.
I agree.
You know, I don't know if you guys know the body count on the death counts or the casualties in World War I and World War II, which are almost exclusively male casualties.
Who started the wars?
Yeah.
Actually, they've done studies on this. Queens were much more likely to wage wars than kings.
No,
in any
it's
case,
not
so
true.
saying
That's
that.
bullshit.
Okay, so
That's complete bullshit.
Jesus Christ!
What does that mean?
Oh, it got disconnected.
Well, Brian, you said never say never in a screw you way.
That's
Bring on
complete
Gavin McGinnis.
bullshit.
You trolled people with feminists for Trump. You got away with it. Is he so much different? Maybe better at walking the line. And I know it.
$100 donation. I might be down to bring on Gavin. We'll see. But hey, thank you, man, so much for that big $200 donation, man. That's huge, man. Thank you. So you said that men are to blame for the wars.
I didn't say that. I just asked a question.
Okay,
They
so
started
I'm
most of it,
trying to
yeah.
return to my original point, which was
It's about men have been about dividing and conquering so they could have all the women. They divide and conquer. It's called conquest. It's called male conquest. Whereas the women are into conquest and domination and warfare. That's what men are. It's the warrior part of men and stuff like that. To go out and dominate and to conquer, take over territory, own it, so they and their men can have all those men, women have the children. They can dominate also their religion. It's conquering other territories, taking it over. It's divide, conquer, and everything else. That's what history is about. So I'm not going to have your bullshit saying that queens are doing it. Yeah, there have been some queens that have done some stuff, definitely. But not even close to what men have done. You're talking about men have done it on a 10,000th of a scale. When we were primates, we did the fucking warfare when we were primates, when we were fucking apes. We killed other males so we could have more females to impregnate and have children. It's a never-ending story.
Abilities that men take on versus women,
yeah. So you don't see women fighting to equalize the draft. That would be equality.
No, if they want to, if the woman wants to, that's up to her. But you have to worry about her getting pregnant. The guy is going to get pregnant. And I know of women that have gone into the military. They got pregnant and stuff like that, even by, guys that served along with them or whatever. And then the commander would get on and say, hey, this ain't the love boat. You guys ain't supposed to be doing this, and so, I mean, and a woman can no longer do her function. Now, whether it's in the Navy, Army, Marines, or whatever. This is stuff they usually don't hear about, but it happens. I've seen it and everything. So, that's why, another reason why men are. They have that there for men.
Women aren't in the streets demanding that they also be drafted or be subject
why
to
would
draft.
they?
I would agree with you that society is extremely.
Men usually don't beg to get drafted either. The biggest time they did that was, of course, World War II, and, of course, you had that in 9/11. Two different timelines. They're not going to be begging us unless they're mentally fucked up to say, can I go to war? Like that. They're not, So
unfair to men, and that the burden that they have on them and the box that they're put in is like substantially unequal. And while women have their issues and those are important as well, I don't think it's right to just dismiss men's issues at all. However, okay, we can look at like the queens and other societies, but talking about America, let's keep it to America. we didn't create this system. Do we benefit off of it in some ways? Yes. Did we fight to change it? Yes. Did it go too far in some places? Yes. And you use logic and knowledge and debate and common sense.
No, he doesn't
to try
use
and get
knowledge.
to
He has
a
like
place that-
zero intelligence, these guys do. And they're usually these girls on here that don't know much about what they're talking about, the topic. They're using that to further their agenda, brainwash, of course, other men and women to their beliefs and ideologies and stuff like that. And, I mean, one other thing I wanted to talk about, I have to do this, is how, of course, this thing about the definition of a cuck or whatever, right? And I remember Lena Paul asking me about this one time. You know, if you're a cuck and this or that or whatever, and stuff. And with some adult stars that I've talked to in the past, you know, they joke around with me and stuff like that. It's like, I sure don't want to see another guy banging another woman like that. You know, I don't. I sure as hell don't. And I guess that's what the definition of a cuck is, pretty much. That, and you're not doing it because you want to see another guy doing it. And the thing is, the thing with how they skew being a cuck is that, like with OnlyFans and stuff, is okay. This is me and some other guys I know that have been around some porn stars, stuff like that. You have fans that want to see your girlfriend do a scene with another guy. This also breaks up a lot of relationships. You know, with these couples, not very strong, not very good. And you have all these fans are paying you thousands of dollars. That stress, it fractures. And they're saying, hey, you know what? This guy may be good for me. I can make money off this. It's up. I'm with my boyfriend and stuff like that. Yada yada. And so they end up doing it. And what happens is these guys are solely fans or in the adult industry, porn or whatever. The guys get a free pass to go to another woman. There is no cuckery in it whatsoever. Unless maybe if the one says them, I don't know. I don't think so. I know from, like, you got Adam 22 and you got other guys and stuff like that, and how they try, especially stupid Andrew, say, are you a cuck? You a cuck? No. If my woman goes and does things with another guy, I'm free to go to another woman, have sex with her. That's how it works. I'm not going to watch her be with another guy. I don't want to see that shit. That's what jail and prison is for, to be honest. I mean, hell, you know, I mean, see other guys, whatever. That's disgusting, you know. So, I mean, that's the truth about that. And you don't see how they try and have their agenda out there and lie about these guys, you know, there's Adam 22 or these other guys I would, you know, talked about last night. Let me see. Let me see. I went over this quite a bit. I went over this quite a bit. I went over this. I'm not going to go to her because I don't like to just be pissed off all the time. It doesn't help. Yes.
Okay, we have a super chat here from Mark Quavy.
I mean, when I round people, let me see. I've noticed, and I don't like to be pissed because I like to have a good time. I like to have funny. I like to joke around, stuff like that. But these are some of the videos here. And this guy, I felt strongly attacked, and others are. This dumb idiot Andrew. He likes to call everybody a cuck and stuff like that. People don't know what the fuck a cuck is, or if somebody's a cuck. I mean, you have an open relationship. It's called having an open relationship and stuff. And if that's what you want to have, you can have that. This piece of shit is not going to have a whole bunch of women liking him. He isn't. He's a piece of shit bastard. I don't even like the language I'm using. I don't. I get too pissed off about this stuff. I look bad and everything else. But I gotta put the truth out there about, how they're mislabeling guys, put out disinformation about what a cuck is and everything. If you're a cuck, then hey, you want to see other guys banging your woman, that's up to you. It's not my business, not your business. Not my business, not that asshole's business here. It's not his business either. It's not. It's nobody's fucking business. That's you and your ladies and whoever else. But when you're around these women, like OnlyFans or whatever, that's like open relationship. They go to their man, you have that green card, and it's been on other podcasts that's adult only and stuff like that. Where it's like, hey, yeah, this totally girl. It's like, yeah, you could do that. I got a free pass. I could go to another woman. I could do a scene with her. That's what it's about. I wish more people were seeing this because the truth would get out there. But it is what it is. This stuff, and I see even some people in the adult industry, they are non-adult industry. There are people not in the adult industry that have open relationships, and it's like, yeah, you screw somebody else, I just screw somebody. It gives me that's a free hall pass right there. These kids are idiots too. Let me see, but that's pretty much the gist of it and everything. And I mean, rage quit. I bet it's because he was attacking her. Me, I'm not on just one side and all this stuff. I'm not. But you have to go after somebody. Yeah, let's see here. How about get his side?
What's happening, TikTok? Bevo here. I just wanted to come on here and basically clear up this whole whatever podcast.
I have to get other people's sides. I know Andrew's side very well and how they like to totally spin it.
I didn't expect to get this much stick. I was basically told what to say, basically for their financial gain, which has made me look a complete mug on the internet now. So I'm just going to do a deep dive. So we get to the whatever podcast. I weren't supposed to be on there. The girls sit down.
This is why they usually don't go on these podcasts. You can't trust going on these stupidest podcasts because they will spin it like that. And some actually do tell you behind the scenes, what, they want you to say sometimes. I'm not saying that happened here. With them, I don't know. May or may not have. Sounds like BS, may not. I'm not going to ever have anybody tell me what to say on any podcast. I didn't give them the finger and say, fuck you, I'll say whatever the fuck I want. So, I mean, let's go.
I finally come in. Brian comes up to me and says, look, we need to spice some things up. Basically say that you two are in an open relationship and basically she sees other guys and she sees other girls. And me being me thinking, oh yeah, cool, it's clips. Like, yeah, why not? Let's run with it. So yeah, I've done that. I'm trying to keep this short because I can spend 10 minutes talking about this. So we've run with that, sat down. I basically written Sophia's leg open because they come around last age your status of relationship, what you do, blah blah blah. So for open, she's run with open. Bear in mind, she don't know this whole plan of this whole open relationship. She sleeps with other men, I sleep with other girls. But which I do want to clarify, me and Sophia are in a closed, healthy, happy relationship. No one else is involved. I just want to get that clear because again, I've got a lot of stick online with the clips and with DMs, and she's getting hate, which I didn't want. I was just trying to do it to promote us and like herself, you know. So yeah, we've done that, we've rolled with that, and I'm not gonna lie, it just got.
I want to see whatever people say. Like see him say we're happy, closed off relationship when she does content already. Shows this video is a lie. I don't believe a word he just said. People in this definition of a DJ, you have sold your soul to TikTok for a fake chain. Why does bro look 18 and 58 at the same time?
At hand, I feel violated, I'm not going to lie, because it feels like from me I look like a devalued man. Again, my grandparents come from a Christian household. My dad's moaned at me for this whole podcast. I've family members, I've seen this podcast, and yeah, again.
Oh, well, I mean, when you do this stuff, I don't have family or anything to worry about. And, you know, if I did, I'd say I'd do whatever the hell I want. I don't care about society. I don't. I'm not. I've been to the other side, been through death and everything else. I know what does matter is only human thing, you know. It's not real. Simulation isn't real that we live in. It's all fake. So what happens here doesn't even matter. But anyways, yeah, you do adult content. You go on a show. You have open marriage, and you expect people to attack you. You gotta expect that. You gotta expect that. I mean, this is the thing with some of these people. They do this and they don't get the kickback. Me, I don't give a fuck what people think. I don't. I think lesser of them if they judge me. I'm not going to judge other people if they have an open relationship. They just better get tested. You better get tested a lot. I get tested and stuff, so I mean, you know, you have to do that to have safe sex. And you don't use your, you know, your down below as much. I like to use my fingers, my hands. Safe sex, it's safe sex. Doing it like that a lot more, you know, and keep things clean, and people and girls don't get pregnant. You know, that's me. You know, girls want it. I don't like using it. I don't. I focused on doing it my way. So
watched it back and it doesn't look good, which is annoying. But again, what can you do? I got told what to say, and me, being the nice beaver I am, I've just run with it and made myself look like a complete mug. Again, I don't advise going on a whatever podcast because they do set you up. We've promised to get our Instagrams promoted and
yeah, I do believe.
Paid. We're supposed to get paid like $150, which we didn't. Which I don't care about the money, but it's the fact that we went on there for promotion.
Did he say only $150? That's cheap. I joke around with my girlfriends. I joke with porn stars and say I'll put you on for $150. Ha ha! You're funny. That's gonna be more like 10 grand. Come on, man.
We give you content for promotion, which we did. We ran with their content. I feel like we've been used for financial gain because the amount of TTSs they got, and the fact that I was still watching, even though I walked out and said it was a whole troll. So basically people could donate more. I feel like we've just been used for money. And again, I understand that a podcast, it's there to make money, but to manipulate
Yeah.
someone and try and
That's
devalue
what they
himself
do.
as a man for their financial gain, I just think is disgusting. Sophia's been receiving a lot of horrible messages. I've been receiving a lot of horrible messages, and realistically, it's not what I want. I am a humble guy. Yeah, we just want to live life and make content for you guys. I want to show the clip now anyway, where I go, it was a troll, because all these clips on TikTok haven't got this in, so I play it now.
Listen, me and Sophia are in a solid, normal relationship. We're not in an
Where
open
she gets
relationship.
fucked by other men?
No, where she doesn't, funny enough. I've pranked you all. Subscribe to Sister Bella. She pays for my holidays. She pays for everything. Big up the sugar mamas. Big up Sister Bella on OF, yeah? I'm going to live my life. You
Okay,
crack on with
all
God.
right, all right.
Have a good one. Cheers.
So yeah, you see that. I did say it was a troll. I was getting out on there and then, saying I was told to say this, but I was just so pissed off at the time. I was just like, let's just go. We was there 5 hours. The whole podcast was 7. I just didn't want to be there. Sophia had towards the end, Sophia sat on the other, like the sofa that was behind the whole setup. She didn't want to be a part of it, and I don't blame her, because it was disgusting. I should have thought a bit more before doing it, which I do take accountability for. But again, me and her are in a happy, healthy relationship. I love her to pieces.
No, because no matter what, people are going to think what they want to think about you, whether they're telling the truth or not. And people like to think the worst. That's the way, unfortunately, most people have been throughout the ages. They like to think the worst. You know, it doesn't matter. It's what sells. The worst. The dirtiest sells. You know, what doesn't sell? People doing good things. People helping out others. Me helping out others sometimes if I can. That doesn't sell. What sells is violence, sex, dirtiness, and everything else you can think of. You know, sometimes, games, gaming does on here and stuff like that, but, this other stuff creates views. The downright dirty sells views. It does. It's just the way that it is. And people want to think the worst all the time. I talk to, some people on JLR investigates. Those are lynch mobbers. Lynch mobbers. Those are pieces of shit I don't want to have anything to do with. Because they've already said, they formed their opinion from the beginning that the person is guilty. Feel they are pieces of shit. I've gone through the legal system. I've had both sides of the legal system. So I know that we have an injustice system. Not everyone is guilty. And how the courts only allow certain parts of evidence into a trial that may help or hurt a defendant. Is he telling the truth? I don't know. Some people say he lied. Maybe he didn't. I don't know this guy. Do I really care? I just put out my points. I just put out this report. He has a right to his say. He did say it was a troll. He did say in the podcast, though, that this is all a fake, it's all a sham. It could be. I know a lot of other people that have done reality shows have been told to say stuff. They've been told to lie and make up stuff just to get views. I wouldn't put past on whatever podcast, you know why? Because it's about furthering their based agenda. I like to have different sides to different things. They have those girls, I hate to say they don't have much upstairs. You know why they have them there? So they can make them look stupid, so they can make them, the guys can make themselves look smart. That's the way it is.
And yeah, I blame whatever. They've blocked me, so I'm going to show you now. So that just sums it up. They've blocked me. They don't want nothing to do with me. They've made money out of us. They've told me to basically be this cuck. Bearing in mind, I didn't even know what a cuck was. So yeah, wanted to clear that up. Again, me and Sophia are happy, healthy, in a close relationship. Yeah, there's not really much more to say. I do apologise for anyone I've offended. I don't despise anyone that believes in God or anything like that. I am an atheist myself, but I just believe everything happens for a reason. So I do apologise for anything I have said, but it got heated. And again, when you're debating with someone that's very strong, like you want to get your point across and give it back to them. And I did feel like I was pissed off, and at the time I knew it was going bad. So that's why I walked out. That's why I said it was a troll. But yeah, tried to clear that up. But big up everyone. Hope yous are good. We're in LA for 3 more days. If anyone's out here wants to do stuff, let me know. But big up to yourselves. Fun, whatever. Do not go on there because you'll get me.
What is this? Reality. What is this shit? It doesn't work. Why can't I highlight it? This guy says a load of absolute rubbish. He said what he said with such passion. There is no way that any of what this fool said. I think you're a dumbass idiot. People can act that way in movies all the time. Act a lot better than he did. People do movies and they act with passion. Let's see. Never wear. I agree. Never wear that outfit. It doesn't help your cause, brother. It doesn't. Okay, so Sophia didn't know the plan of just saying you're in an open relationship, but she still put open relationship on the questionnaire. You can't keep track of the lies, boy. Unless they told him to. Get views or something. These shows do that. Shows do that. It does happen all the time. Some like to create drama. These dating shows, these reality shows, they like to create drama because it sells. It gets views. If there isn't drama, people would be like, why the fuck am I... There's nothing dirty going on here. There's no dirty laundry for us to attack or go after. People don't maybe like me because I'll attack one side over the other. I'm not based enough. You know? That's the way it is. Just look like a weak move. Let's see. Sacrificing your own integrity. And lying for some chicks is why you are getting so much hate. Just like a weak move. Let's see. Yeah, but you looked a mug way before. Maybe you did. Let's go over here. Ed Maddie.
What's happening, TikTok? Bevo here. I just went.
Yes. That's him. Cool. Yeah, he looks better than me right now. That's for sure. Let's see. And that's there's a Trout Girls neon content. Then I got into an argument with her. This is the same guy. But anyways, that's pretty much
what's happening, TikTok? Bevo
right
here.
There. Anyways, I pretty much dealt with that. Anyways, tell me what you think. What you like? Tell me what you think. Because I mean, there's different sides to this stuff, and people do not know. I feel what a cuck is. They put in their own definitions, and they like to put that on guys. I thought it was funny when Lena Paul asked if I was one at one time and stuff like that and everything. I like joking around with some of the ladies, when I was doing stuff and everything. I don't like to do things where I get pissed off like that, but I do, just like other people get pissed off about certain things that people be wronged about. That's me and stuff like that. I know the ladies that I know don't like that as well, and they don't like a lot of the drama either. But then again, they're not going to go on here. If they go on here and talk about us, they're going to be pissed off. And some of them, there's going to be a lot of expletives, a lot of cussing on these guys. No, I don't want your protection right now. Anyways, y'all have a good morning, night, wherever you are. Peace out for now, everybody.